One of the most common questions from Tableau users we get here at InterWorks is, how can we make deployments easier with Tableau Server? This is one of my favorite questions because with our enterprise deployment tool for Tableau, we can quickly address that challenge by automating the movement of workbooks from one environment to the other. On top of that, we can create archives for our deployments and even roll back to prior versions, all in one application. In this video, I'll show you how to perform each of these tasks in a matter of minutes. Let's start with a basic deployment. On the left, we have Enterprise Deployment Tool, or EDT for short. On the right, we have Tableau Server. Notice that we have no workbooks or data sources on server. All of our workbooks are currently in a test environment, and our objective is to migrate those to this production environment on Tableau Server. First, we're going to select a plan that we've already created. And keep in mind, we've configured this plan to include things like data source transformations, which switches out the data source that your workbook is pointing to, also permissions management, and several more features that we cover in other videos. Since everything is already in place with this EDT plan, we'll go ahead and hit the Run button. What we see now is a list of all the workbooks and data sources that are included in this deployment plan. Looks like everything checks out, so we'll hit the Run button again. EDT will move through all of the tasks necessary to pull the workbooks from the existing location, make any changes, and then deploy everything over to our destination environment. Boom, deployment complete. EDT will now show us a list of published workbooks, a list of data sources, and a complete record of all the activities that took place during the deployment, which we can save for our records. We can now refresh Tableau Server. As you can see, we deployed 6 workbooks and 4 data sources. In many cases, this process may have taken a server admin several hours to complete, but we just completed it almost instantly. If you prefer to run the EDT deployment plan from a command line or set up a Windows task to handle the releases on a nightly or weekly schedule, you can do that as well. In those cases, we don't even have to go into the application to run the plan. Once our EDT plan file is set up, we just call it out through scripts and it runs automatically. With the deployment complete, let's now take a look at how you can use version control to create archives. Back in EDT, we're going to select the same plan and deploy it one more time. Since we've already selected the option to create archives, this will move the older version of our workbooks and data sources on server into the archive project. Let's hit the Run button one more time and verify the details. Let's go ahead and tell EDT to run this deployment. Once we go through this process, we'll have workbooks with a unique deployment ID that will designate them as being part of this deployment. They'll also have a time and date stamp, and that way we can reference when they were deployed. Once complete, we'll refresh Tableau Server again. Now we have our current 6 workbooks and another set of 6 workbooks in the archive. Opening the archive, we see that all of those 6 workbooks have a unique deployment ID, as well as a time and date stamp. The workbooks will keep collecting in this project as long as we have space on Tableau Server. We can even specify if we need to roll back to a particular version, rolling back everything at one time if we desire. That means that we don't have to worry about messing up a deployment because it's very easy to revert back if necessary. Speaking of rollbacks, let me show you how easy it is to go back to a previous version. We're going to go back to EDT, and this time we'll hit the rollback button located at the bottom left of the screen. Next, we'll select the destination. I'll enter my credentials for security. And select this site to deploy to. And we'll see the deployment listed out here that we are actually showing over here on Tableau Server. Of course, if we have multiple deployments that are collected in the archive project, we'll list all of them out on EDT. When I hit the next button, we can select individual workbooks to roll back, or we can roll back the entire deployment. This also goes for the data sources. Once we review our details, we click the rollback button, and then everything goes back to the selected version. You've now seen the entire process. We had the initial deployment, we created separate versions for our version control feature, and then using the rollback feature, we were able to take everything back to a prior version. All of this was completely automated with the Enterprise Deployment Tool, which allows you to easily scale your Tableau deployments as you grow. Want to learn more about EDT and how it can impact your organization? Get in touch with us at powertoolsfortableau.com.